Tom Hudson, voice of the Zags.
You read my mind.
I've
What's
never
that?
been introduced like that with that pause. I like
Voice,
the pause.
you
Yeah.
are the voice.
It was a pregnant
Yes.
pause.
It was.
Tom.
Made me sound important.
Voice of the 2002? Was that your one?
Yeah, 18 years. How about that?
18 years.
Think
You've
about
seen
that.
anything and everything.
Pretty much. And actually what's kind of cool for me is, I moved to town in 96. So from Grand Junction, Colorado. That's my first job. I went to school in Denver. Grand Junction was my first job, and then moved up to Spokane. I've been here ever since. But I've seen this whole run, which has been kind of cool. I saw Fitz's last year in the old kennel. My first year in the radio was our last year in the old kennel, so that was a whole lot of fun, to be able to experience that. And then we bumped over to the new place. But, I've seen a lot.
Grand Junction to Spokane. Was Spokane at the time just another stop on the road to somewhere else?
It was. It was a stop on the road back home to Texas, so I kind of went the wrong direction. But,
Right.
I had never been to the Northwest. And so, the job opportunity popped up, and I thought, I've never been. It's like I always say this, I signed a 2-year contract with a third-year option. I had no intention of going through that third year. I was going to move back home and get closer to my family because the majority of my immediate family is in Texas still. And then, what happened? It was kind of crazy. Obviously, when you're working at a job and teams are winning and good things are going on. So I was working TV before I got into the radio part. And, Washington State goes to the Rose Bowl for the first time in 70 years, right? And Idaho goes to a bowl game. And then, the Zags go on that first run and the second run. And so all of a sudden, it's not like I'm at a place where you're covering teams that are 1-10 or, basketball teams that are 10-30. And you're like, my gosh, get me out of here.
The vortex
it's
got
fun.
you.
The vortex did get me. And then, I met a girl from Alaska who went to Gonzaga and, and it was right in the middle so everybody could come and visit, but nobody does. But
Is that how that works?
Yeah,
You
exactly.
find a gal and you get stuck.
Yeah.
Careful, Jack. Careful.
How often do people recognize you just from your voice?
So this is a good story. Mark Livingston, our general manager at Gonzaga Sports Properties, I shared this story with them once. We were at Trader Joe's, and I had my young kids. This is 3 or 4 years ago. So they're pushing those little carts that you can't push anymore because they always hit you in the ankles and they cause problems.
Ones.
Yep. So they're pushing those carts around, and my kids are going in the wrong direction.
I prefer those carts, by the way, as an adult male. Yes, I actually do. That's a true story.
What scares me is I want to know why.
I'd feel big. Feel like a big man.
Well,
Small cart.
that would do it. So I'm getting hit in the ankles, and they start going the wrong direction. And so I kind of bark out at them, hey, come on, let's go. Like, you're going the wrong way, whatever. And somebody's in the next aisle. Yeah. And somebody's in the next aisle, and they pop around the corner.
Boom.
Hey, Tom Hudson.
Because while you were yelling at your kids?
Yeah, while I was yelling at my kids. How about that? I was shocked. I was laughing so hard. I was like, yeah, absolutely. it was hilarious. So
I know.
So there's the one.
I saw him screaming at his
I saw him
kids.
yelling at his kids. Exactly. It was like, perfect. I'm glad you heard me in this situation right here. So
you're doing TV first.
Yep.
And then how did you kind of luck into the gig? Was there tryouts?
Did
you have to beat up Dennis Patchen?
Luck in was a little bit of it. Unfortunately for DP, it was a situation. It was funny. So when I moved here, I was working for the CBS affiliate, and the ABC affiliate, KXOY, right? They had all of the rights to everybody when I moved here. To
right?
Gonzaga, to Washington State, they pretty much everything. So me being where I was, I couldn't work for them. When the rights switched over from KXOY to KGA, now Dennis couldn't move over with GU.
Gotcha.
So
right when things started going right for the Zags.
And so he wasn't able to do it anymore because of those, the contracts and those deals. And so, the job opened up, and it was kind of interesting because this is what I had always wanted to do. The TV thing was making money. I actually had an opportunity when I was in Grand Junction to work in radio. I had a great guy. His name is Jim Davis, who really helped me out and kind of mentored me. And I worked for him for a while I was doing both TV and radio. He offered me an opportunity to do sales, which I know I would be horrible at sales and call games.
Why? Why do you think you'd be horrible?
Because, Rob,
I think you're the salesman.
No,
I feel like Tom Hudson could do whatever he wanted.
That's what I'm saying.
No, it would not have been a good career move for me. And back then, so, this is how crazy the world is, right? So I think it was $20 a game when you were calling a game back then. Like, I'd call a high school game. So we had high school, we had a D2 football and basketball program, and then the Junior College World Series is played in Grand Junction. So I got plenty of opportunities and plenty of reps. But as I'm looking at it and I'm thinking, okay, I'm not going to be able to sell anything, and so I'm not going to be able to make enough money at $20 a pop to, So I stayed in the TV deal, and I moved up to Spokane, and then kind of realized, oh, wait a second, like so KXOY has everything. I don't have an opportunity to do anything, and I was, it's kind of like, oh, okay, what am I going to do? Settle into the TV thing, obviously, because I enjoyed that as well. But then when the GU thing, opened up. It was an opportunity. It was kind of interesting because I talked to my wife. We were just married. And so it was kind of one of those things of I'm already now, and Jack knows this. I mean, when you're working in TV, right, you're working 6-7 days a week from August when football camp starts all the way through the basketball season. And with Gonzaga winning, you're going deep into March. And then, so you're already pretty tied up and dialed in. And so, we talked about it. And I said, what do you think? And we went back and forth. And so it happened, and she was wonderful in allowing me to do it. As we had the conversation, like, look, I'm going to be gone a lot, and and so it was interesting that it just kind of fell into my lap in a lot of ways. But now the thing is let's go back to 2002, 2003. None of us knew this was. Rob was still in. Well, you were a fourth grader, right?
I was not.
We didn't know that this was happening.
That's for sure.
Yeah, right.
Gonzaga?
Absolutely. Well, we had no idea, right? So, and that was kind of the same thing for me. It was like, okay, hey, I've got this D1 job, and this is going to be great, and I'll do it for a few years and kind of see where it takes me. And
I think that's how everyone looks at Gonzaga. Like, well, we'll just see how it works out.
And then here you are 10 years later, and you're back, and you're here. Exactly, that's how it goes.
The vortex, my friend.
Absolutely.
Sucks you in.
Yes, it does. And it's a good vortex.
Yeah.
Have you ever missed a game?
No.
You've never missed a game.
Mm-mm.
So how many games in total?
You know what? Barry, our sports information director, was wanting to figure that out. But
he's got enough time.
So Al at Pepperdine is phenomenal. Al has done... he's got to be at 11 or 1,200 games in a row. He's been there for 30 plus years. Now, I haven't caught him yet, but we've played a lot of games, right? We're getting to this point where we're playing 35, 38 games a year.
Yeah.
So we're moving in a little bit on some of those longevity things.
Hold on. You
never missed a game.
That's what I'm saying. Have you ever had like strep throat?
Yeah, close calls.
Yes.
Like, what's going on? You're telling me?
Josh Cox is laughing back over here because he was with me when it happened in Las Vegas, the WCC tournament, Mo's first year. And we are in Vegas, and classic Adam Morrison. So I'm losing my voice. I cannot talk.
Because of whiskey flu?
That is what Mo said. He's like, everybody thinks you've got the whiskey flu, so you might as well just go ahead and do it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, Mo, I can't talk. Like, I can't drink. I can't even speak right now. So actually at the end of our game, and I forget who we were playing. It wasn't St. Mary's. It was maybe a semifinal game. I couldn't talk. We tossed it back to the studio so they could finish the post-game show because I could not speak anymore. It was the craziest thing. It's the only time it's ever happened to me.
He's missed one game.
Was it?
So he's missed one game.
I was there of the 4.5 hours of our broadcast. I was there for 4.
You missed it. You didn't finish. You didn't finish the game.
All right, so my streak is over.
The last 5 minutes is the most key in every game.
I would agree.
But yeah, it was crazy. It was, and then and we had one more game to do, and I just barely got through it. And
was that the last? Was that the championship game?
No, it was not. So we had to come back. Yes, we had to come back and yes, exactly. Yeah. Yes, God bless BYU. We were able to come back and fight through and get it done.
Get an IV.
Yes.
Drink plenty of fluids.
You know what?
Did you go out again after the championship?
I had never had so much. I see what you're trying to do. I had never had so much soup in my life and so much tea over like a 48-hour period.
Yeah.
That is all that I did. I will say I do think afterwards, so Tuesday night or whenever it was, Monday night, I'm not sure how we're doing that anymore these days. I might have gone out and celebrate a little bit. But it was after the fact. I didn't need my voice anymore. Exactly. So, but that entire and I should have probably just stayed in because for that entire tournament run, I struggle a little bit. I bought a little humidifier. You ever seen those things? Those little humidifiers about this big. You're in Las Vegas in the hotel. It's like yeah. But in Las Vegas, they're for adults and they're like $55 for
They're still for babies.
Absolutely. So I had one of those things in my room. I'm running that deal and every medicine I could take. So that one was different. I had never experienced anything like that ever. It was. Yeah, and poor Mo, like his first year, so he's still kind of trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
And now when we talk about it, he says, "Hey, it's like I probably could have done that." It's like, yeah, no, I know you probably could have. Maybe next time we'll we'll figure it out. But
You mentioned
Man.
your buddy at Pepperdine. Do
Yep.
you have like a group of WCC voices that you're BFFs with?
you
on a text
yes. chain? You know what? It's funny. We don't have a text chain necessarily, but
Okay.
we do have. And some of our guys give me a hard time. Zach at Pacific. Pacific was just in town. He's a really good dude.
Zach at Pacific, like
Yeah.
we know these people.
Yeah,
exactly.
I know. That's
Yeah.
where I'm
Yeah.
like, you're just, Barry.
Yeah, Barry. I know. I need to be a little more specific, but no. He's a good guy. Most of the guys in the league you get to know, and especially. What's interesting in the WCC is now a lot of these guys have been around for a little bit.
Yeah.
Where before at some of the schools they would kind of bounce pretty quick because it's different. I mean, what we have set up here is phenomenal. I mean, I'm able. It's my job.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of places you're doing other things and trying to piece it together. But we've got there's a good group in the WCC of guys who've been around for 7, 8, 10 years, all the way up to Al. Like I said, Al's been 30 plus years, and he calls.
That's you, man.
Yeah, that is going to be me. I hope, Rob. One
No,
of these days.
that is
And,
going
yeah.
to be you.
Why wouldn't
Yeah.
it be?
No, and that's a great question because you know what? And honestly, it is funny because it's such a great place. Like Rob said, I mean, you joke about the vortex, but
This
good
place
people.
is. No, Jack's scared of it.
Yeah.
He's tiptoeing around the outside
wanna
right
quite
now.
get in.
and
I've done my 3 stints.
Yeah,
or 2 stints.
Yeah.
2
I've done
stints.
my
He-
2 stints.
California, though. So,
Yeah.
2 tours.
3 strikes and you're locked up for good, bud.
Let's rank your best friends in the WCC.
Oh,
Al at Pepperdine.
Al's right there.
I don't know who Al is.
Yeah, Al sounds
Al
real.
Epstein. Al is a legend. I mean, he's written a book on how to broadcast.
Okay.
He is
Whoa,
a
whoa, whoa,
legend.
whoa.
And he likes
And
books.
there are books
Wait,
on
wait,
how to
wait,
do
wait.
what we do. Yeah.
Hold on.
We'll get you one. Yeah, maybe it'll
What
help your-
is the first rule of broadcasting? Obviously not cussing.
Yeah,
Well,
that's
we
the first
need
one.
to learn
Yep,
these
that is the
rules.
first one.
Yeah.
No, I think the big ones when you're doing games, like score is a big one. Like time and score is one that when you're young, you forget. You're so excited, everything's going on in front of you.
Radio for
And,
sure.
Yeah, radio for sure because people can't
Yeah,
see.
can't-
There's not,
yeah.
and even when I started in TV, you didn't have scoreboards on and all the other stuff. but
Really?
yeah. Yeah, all the font thing is. I'm old, Jack, so it's a little bit different. But that's the big one because you get excited, and then all of a sudden, like let's say you miss 5 or 6 shots in a row, running up and down the floor, and you're not saying the score. And then somebody's
People are
driving down the
like,
street, and they're
"What's
yelling.
going on?"
They're yelling at the radio.
What's
and then,
going on?
Yeah, and in this day and age, you get the Twitter and all that,
The Twitter.
fun stuff. I used to get letters every once in a while from people. That was kind of funny. But now it's just instant.
you
You're
have
an idiot.
any-
You don't know what you're doing.
I
You're a
like to-
fool.
Do you have any letters from prisoners? Because that's what we used to get.
I do not. I have a dog from prison. We just got a dog from Airway Heights. It's fantastic. The
Oh, I know those.
positive prison
Yeah.
program. We just got him 6 weeks ago.
No
It's
way.
unbelievable. Yeah.
Yeah, they
the
train
Humane
dogs
Society
out
does
there.
it. They train dogs.
Airway Heights?
The prisoners.
Really?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's pretty cool.
It is phenomenal. He's a great dog. They have him for 3 months at a time, and they bring him in,
Dog
and
learns
they're
how to escape.
yeah.
Okay. I
I
want
was going to say no. He learned how to not go to the bathroom in my house, and, but that too maybe.
Yeah, learns how not to escape.
We're setting up a bar table with all of your WCC radio buddies.
Okay.
Al from Pepperdine.
Yep.
What was it? Joe from Pacific?
No, Zach.
Zach from Pacific.
Alex is St. Mary's. I know everybody doesn't like St. Mary's, but Alex is a good dude.
That's going to be a controversial pick.
Yeah, it is going to be a controversial pick. Let's see. I'm trying to think who else in the league that we, and we all talk, and that's kind of the cool thing is that you walk down to the other end of the table and you talk and you get caught up a little bit. Those are the guys that I probably have socialized with the most. I'm trying to think.
So you guys do go out. I think that's like enlightening to people.
Yeah,
People don't realize
we do
that.
sometimes.
Yeah, yeah.
And when those guys are in town, now with my kids, it's a little bit different. But actually, Alex from St. Mary's was in a few years ago. We ran down to Hogwash and had some whiskey and kind of hung out there and showed them around Spokane. You got to let the
See,
Californians
that's
know.
why I love Huddy.
Yeah.
He's Texas all.
Yes.
You hear that? You get some whiskey. You gotta show them Californians. You gotta show them Californians.
Right.
Yeah.
It's Spokane's an okay place. And then when we're on the road too, it's good. Like when we go to Pacific and you're in Stockton
host you
and
a little
see
bit.
Zach. Yeah. And so you talk a little bit. And it's like every industry, every deal, right? I mean, the people that Rob, you probably played against, right? I mean, every so often there are guys that you hung out with or talked to.
For
or,
sure.
Right? And
Sure.
you exchange stuff. I'm outside of Al, who's the oldest guy in the league. I'm probably, Pat at San Francisco might be Yeah, Pat's ahead of me. But then, I mean, those guys haven't been around quite as long. So we sit and talk, and in theory, some wisdom, but a lot of it's just, catching up on the teams and what's going on. So it's good. Yeah,
So
it's fun.
If there's 4 or 5 guys you love, there's 4 or 5 guys you hate.
Oh, that's strong. No. That's
Dislike.
not
No,
it.
you
No,
put
that's
them
not
in
it
a
either.
tight
No.
spot.
No. Actually, what it is it's just, I mean, like I said, you see the guys at every game, and so you talk to them. Now, those guys are people that I've just gotten to know a little bit, and some of it, like with Alex, the one year we were in Salt Lake, I forget it was a few years ago. St. Mary's was also there. They were in a different pod, but they were also in Salt Lake. So you're hanging out. Hey, this is pretty cool. 2 teams from WCC hanging out, and
I don't know what that feels like with St. Mary's. I'm sorry.
No, I know you
like
don't.
to
I know
sleep
you're.
with the
That's your
enemy.
deal, right?
That's you're sleeping with the enemy right there. It's
And hey, and I'm going to make you even more mad at me, Rob. So how about this? You talk about small world stuff. So I grew up in Texas. We're from
born and raised deep in the heart of Texas.
I was raised, not born. I was born in California. Actually, I was born in Fullerton and moved there when I was maybe a year old.
Typical California. You got to leave the state because it's not good enough. Okay, go
okay,
ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead.
But anyway, the majority of my family actually is from the Bay Area, and so my mom and dad met in San Francisco.
Beautiful spot.
Yeah, it is a beautiful spot. And they both went away to college,
You like
and
poop.
then my mom moved back home, and so my dad moved back and graduated from St. Mary's.
Yeah.
My dad is a St. Mary's grad.
You're a Gale man? You're a
crazy
Gale
is that?
by association.
So now here's one of the great stories. When I
Tom,
was
Wait, hold on. You
That's
realize
Gale.
people are going to be heartbroken.
Yeah. Well,
To
you
hear
know what's
that.
funny? And these guys, when they hear me, when we're on the bus riding up for shoot around, there's that little community center now, is a little elementary school. My cousins went to the elementary school. So I'm sure for 18 years, everybody's sick and
I
tired of
feel
hearing
like
me like, hey, my cousins went to that place and they went to the
I feel
elementary
like I
school.
need to shower.
Yeah,
talking
I know.
to you
See, that's
right
the thing.
now.
Isn't that weird?
Now,
Yeah,
I had Tom in such a high regard.
Wait,
Yeah,
but
and you look
now,
at 'em now,
hey, wait a
like,
second though.
ugh.
In my dad's defense, when I was a senior in high school, we were there in San Francisco visiting our family, and he took me out there. So we went out to Moraga, and he said,
Beat you like a
"You are
pulp.
not coming to school here."
Oh, that is a
So,
good
okay.
man.
Yeah, so I
Moraga
was like, okay.
sucks.
Yeah.
Well
So-
done. Well done.
So I said, okay, Dad, that's good. So I think that that gets us. But it's. I mean, like I said, you talk about crazy small world
Yeah.
stuff. The number of kind of connections and things that go around. I have a cousin who lives 2 blocks away from USF. And you just wonder, for me, it's like, how in the world and me, like the Texas guy who's, moved to Spokane that ends up, in California. I mean, there's so many of those weird, little ties that, yeah. So no, it's okay, Rob. I'm all right.
Let's hop in a time machine and go back to 2014, simpler time.
Okay.
Back when, I think, was that the last year we had travel partners in WCC? Where you would spend a
Yeah, this
solid
scheduling
weekend?
is- sucks.
I am not a fan of the scheduling.
Right?
This
I admit.
scheduling
Yes.
So
that is-
back
yes.
in simpler times,
Uh-huh.
what was your favorite road trip? LA, one of the Bay Areas, San Diego for a night? Because what would San Diego be?
San Diego would be BYU.
Oh, that was
So
that
we're
was a
going to
lot of
San
travel.
Diego, and then
right.
and then you actually had to get on a plane and go. I will say that, like, I love going to the Bay Area. So that's a good trip. But in the middle of January, the middle of February, and it's
That-
dark and it's cold, and you
that
go down to
LA
LA and you stay in the same hotel. So you unpack on Wednesday night and you leave on Sunday.
That's awesome.
Right.
And you'd have a good deal.
a
And then
week.
some of us go and get tattoos before we have to go play. And
Hey now.
so
What is that? What happened?
I-
Is that what happened? We got a little couple tattoos.
In LA or San Francisco?
LA.
L.A.
Okay.
Yeah.
L.A. was.
Remember that one?
Oh
Right.
man.
Rob comes strolling back in. Like, what in the heck are you doing? Like, some guy's gonna beat on you here for the next 2 hours.
It's cool, man.
But you're tough though. Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
all right. I got that.
Yeah.
I can handle anything.
Yeah.
You know.
But that's the best trip. I think, like I said, because of the sun and and it's and it's
get it.
it's awesome because we go down there and it's great because you're wearing you've
Oh,
got
you're in
flip flops and
mid- you're in
shorts on and people are wearing
mid-January. Oh.
people are wearing winter coats and you're walking down the beach. So this is nice. It
Yeah,
keeps you
it's-
sane in the
oh,
winters. It does.
Really
It's
does. That one little break, and then you realize, and the cool thing is, the competition isn't as good, so you can go into those games like
Little whiskey flu?
No whiskey flu. I never had whiskey flu in LA, but I did have the flu one time. Steve,
Vodka flu.
no, I wish. Steve and I both. I wish. Here's the craziest thing. I had the flu. We played LMU. I had the flu the next day, and I'm in my deathbed. And I get a text from Vanessa. I'm pregnant. And I was like, Whoa. Whoa. What a weekend this is coming to
Wow.
be. This is a weekend of ever. But yeah, no.
Yikes.
That was a weekend.
So it was
for sure.
morning sickness.
Oh, I think I had
Yeah,
her
you had it
morning
too.
sickness
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah, that happens. I've heard
For sure.
rumors of that.
Yeah.
I think I know the answer to this, but your favorite WCC gym away to call a game?
You know, that's a
Factor
tough
everything in. Facilities,
Yep.
crowd.
Santangelo told us how
He gave us the answer.
Well, I know what he said. BYU, right?
These
Wow.
guys. It's
Yeah.
like a marriage.
Yeah.
Is that
it
what
was
we're
like a
gonna be
marriage.
like, Jack?
Yeah, you guys are gonna be like that soon.
Oh, we're
You're
there.
gonna be
Oh,
finishing
we're
each other's
more
thoughts,
than-
picking out each other's clothes. There's gonna be
We're kind of already there.
sleeping
He
in the
picked
same
out my
hotel
watch.
room.
He
Like you
picked out
guys
my
gonna have
watch.
you're gonna have a lot going on there. Yeah, BYU is an amazing, crazy. Their game day deal is, I mean, 19,000 people in there screaming and yelling. And I always joke, like, you walk in there, everybody's so nice, and welcome to Provo.
No,
It's like,
they're
so
not.
glad to have you here. And then the ball goes up in the air, and it's like, we will kill you. I mean, it's an entirely different atmosphere, but it's great. I mean, we've been in there before, and I mean, they've got slam dunk competitions going on with just the student body.
That's what he was saying.
An hour and a half before the game, and you're just like, wait. I love Gonzaga. I'm not sure how many kids we have. I mean, they got 10 or 15 guys out there that are going crazy. I mean, it's not just, okay, I'm barely getting the ball on the rim. I mean, you got guys going between their legs, and
What?
you're just like, what in the heck is going on here? So it is
BYU.
fun. Yeah.
You're a lot more athletic when you don't suffer from whiskey flu.
Yeah, that is a very valid point.
Well, your legs
That is
are
a very
lot
valid
stronger.
point. Yes, they are. Yeah, very, very true. But
Hey now.
yeah, it is a fun place to go for a game. St. Mary's, to me is one of those places because it's so different, right? I mean, you literally are sitting there. I mean, I remember one year we're in Moraga and we call a timeout, and Rob, I think it was right after you had played, and there's a guy sitting, and I mean, it's maybe 20 rows to the top.
It
Maybe
feels like
from where the
one
bench is.
section
Yep.
is just up, and then
Yep.
the other section you're like against a wall.
Yeah.
Yeah, standing room only up there.
So
It's awful.
Yeah, I used to have to call games from up there. That was a fun one. And they had when the backboards used to fold up, you couldn't see the scoreboards. So you're sitting up there kind of trying to figure out what the heck's going on. But this guy comes running down in a timeout. He comes running down the stands and stands right behind our huddle and is just screaming at coach. Phew, what are you doing? I mean, just screaming at him. I'm being nice. I mean, he's saying some other stuff too. And you're looking around, you're like, is there security here? Like, it's something like this guy is in our huddle right now, just screaming and yelling, and you're just kind of trying to figure out. But it's crazy. I mean, they get into it and they go when we're there. And you know what? Actually, too, Rob, I think you might agree with me on this one. The Levy Center, when it's going, and when you were playing, it was still going pretty good.
Rough Riders, baby.
Yeah, the Rough Riders.
No, that play they get them.
Yep.
That, and then you had to play. That was that for me, and that was our worst road trip. I hate that
The Bay
road-
Area?
The Bay Area, because you had to stay focused because
There, yeah.
San Fran
Had your number, huh?
Yeah, they did.
every time down there.
That gets rowdy.
That
Yeah.
place gets really
They're
rowdy.
very knowledgeable there.
Yes,
Yeah.
and Rex had those boys fighting to play us. Like that was their game of the year. So
Yeah, and that was a good one too. I think it was after you left when Rex went after Kevin. Like we had a timeout, so timeout gets called. Our guys are walking back to the huddle. They're coming out, so it happens at this basket, and so they're going. Our guys are going this way. They're coming out this way, and like Rex and Kevin like bump, and Rex is yelling. Kevin's looking at me. Right, Kevin Pangos, the nicest basketball player on the planet. And Kevin's kind of looking. I'm like, what in the world are you doing?
Yeah. Well, Rex
he had them fired
I've
up,
heard
man.
Rex encouraged.
He
the
had
fighting
them.
in practice.
He had them
loved
going.
that fighting in practice.
He had them going.
Yeah,
it was,
and they were. That's how it felt like. I'm like, come on, man. You guys lose to every other team in the. Come on, now you're bringing it up to. But I guess you get to see the best when you are the best, right?
That's true, but it is probably BYU St. Mary's right now, and then the Levy Center still the kids still come. But Mo and I were talking about this the other day, and I've had some people have asked me kind of like, you guys keep saying the league's better, but is it really better because you beat teams by 50 and this, that, the other thing?
Right.
I think it's better, but I think part of what has happened is there's just been a beat down of you're going through the game notes. You're like, okay, well Gonzaga.
Stockholm.
Last time Gonzaga lost to last time we
Stockholm
lost to Santa
syndrome.
Clara was 2011. Last time San Francisco won in Spokane was 1989. Right, so I think the fans, like from when you were playing, Rob, it was still like every single time. It was no holds barred. And there's still some places that are like that, but there's quite a few of them. It's almost like, they don't know any better. It's almost like, well, we're coming to watch the number 1 or the number 2 team in the
We've
country.
beaten it out of them.
That's a culture of losing.
Yes.
That's so funny, and like fan base too. But I think it has a lot. 18 to 22-year-old kids, that means something.
Yeah.
When you say, "Hey, our team hasn't won here in 30 years."
Yeah, I think
that
so.
affects you a little bit.
Yeah,
Stalk
and
them.
it's,
Just beat them until guess what? You're not going to fight back.
Most exciting game you ever called? WCC aside, it could be anywhere. Tournament,
could be anywhere.
could be a loss.
That's a great question. Gosh, Jack, I was thinking about this today. I figured we'd talk a little bit about these kind of things, and you go back and think over all the years, and there have been some unbelievable ones, right? I mean, Meach against Western Kentucky in the tournament was unbelievable. The game where Jordan hit the 3 in the tournament to get us to the Elite 8 when we beat Xavier. I mean, that obviously was a great one. Going to Butler, and I know the outcome in that game was awful, but that place was awesome. The venue was fantastic.
God. I forgot about that game.
Yeah,
That
it was
collapse.
so good. Yeah, and that game was fun for different reasons, probably because of the history and all the stuff. And then it was game day and those things. Man, that's a great question because there have been so many of them. I mean, even we go back to Santa Clara. Sam Dower, sticks a 3. Stephen Gray. I mean, it's still one of the great stories I tell, and we'll tell it again on Thursday. I'm sure when we get down there. Steve's freshman year, and we're losing. I remember Brody Angley.
Brody Angley,
Yes.
yeah.
Little, just a fire hydrant, probably 5'9", 5'10", just great football player from Texas, right?
Football player, yeah.
And so we're losing. Ball gets thrown to the backcourt, right? There's 2 seconds left. Brody Angley, who was the hardest playing, right? I mean, just this tough guy, just always going 100%. Steven's running the other direction. He's probably 70 feet from the basket.
There's no time left.
No time left. Like 2
second.
seconds left.
Yeah.
We're down by 2. If Brody Angley just let Steven touch the basketball, now he's got to stop, spin, throw the ball 70 feet in 2 seconds. It's not going to happen. So Santa Clara is going to beat us.
Man,
Even crazier, though, wasn't it Santa Clara's ball?
Yeah, no. Well,
it
they
was
Mary's.
Yeah.
It was Santa Clara.
Santa Clara.
It was Santa Clara. So Brody Angley dives, tackles Steve. I mean, runs
Tackles
into
him.
him. So
He
the
had to
officials
hit
have
the
no
2 free-
choice.
Yes.
For
I
no
He
guess
hits the 2
reason.
free throws, and it's one of my great memories because what I love to see is when the guys are still just enjoying themselves, right? Because so many guys, right? You make 2 free throws, like, well, I'm supposed to make shots. I'll make the shots, and they give you the grumbly. Steve must have jumped when he hit that second one. He must have jumped 10 feet in the air off that free throw line. He was so excited that he knocked that thing in.
I'm so glad you brought that up. That's like one of my favorite.
It was
memories of all
fantastic.
time.
And then Austin went crazy in overtime. Austin got it done in overtime. But
he took over.
and it was funny because Kerry Kading was just in. He's selling something. I forget what it is. Something that's in athletic. I don't remember if it's signs or stuff. So he was at the kennel and he was talking to Mark Livingston, our boss at Gonzaga Sports Properties, and we sat in his office and we talked about those things. And it was interesting hearing it from the other side. And kind of the potential ramifications of, hey, if we win that game, now we're in this spot. And and even that Santa Clara, when they were in our place and they beat us with Danny Pariseau and that crew when it was that 2007.
Was Big Boy on that?
John Bryant.
Big John Bryant. Yep.
He was playing that year. Yep.
Yeah, but it is. I mean, so those are the kind of things too that kind of jump up at you, over the years where you think, man, that was maybe one that people don't think about too much, but when you're sitting there, like I said, and seeing like Steve, his smile was as big as it could be, and he jumped so high, he was so excited. I love to see that instead of the cool guy, like, oh yeah, hey, hey man, like here's some emotion, here's some energy. That was fun.
I think the first they cleared the court, no one on the court at Santa Clara. As an 18-year-old.
Yeah.
They're in front of the Rough Riders. And I think the first one hit the back of the rim, front of the rim, in.
And, I think you're right. And then it was... but
all memory is great because I must be doing something wrong in my life because y'all memory is like... I played in the game and y'all remember this better.
Yeah.
It's funny.
Can I offer you a 2011, 2012 WCC championship game when Elias hit the prayer 3 to force overtime?
To force
that we
overtime.
lost?
Yes. Yeah. That
was a good one.
That was a good one. That was a great one. And then you even talk about that. I mean, go back to Stocks when Stocks flips that thing in, against Santa Clara in the tournament. And
wasn't that the first year we had to play the first? We didn't get the automatic bye to the semis?
and that was one of those years where you were kind of looking at hey, if we don't win the tournament, we might not be able to get into that large.
Was that Sam?
That was against Santa Clara. That was
senior
Sam's senior year.
Yeah. It was
Sam and David.
Sam and David, because Sam was ended up being the MVP of the tournament, if I remember correctly, and David was on the all-tournament team. And I think that was year 2 that David had that block David just swatted a shot. We've got to go find it.
I will.
It was crazy, but yeah, that was a great But that was a good one, and that's the thing that's hard. Like I said, you bring that up, you're like, oh yeah, that was a great game to call, and you go through, the handful of just games that were decided at the wire that obviously were great, and then it's crazy to go back and think through all the years. And Coach and I were talking about this the other day. When you look at all those numbers about, hey, we've won this many league championships in a row, and we've done this many things, and you say, oh, we've dominated, and it looks like that on paper. But if we want to sit and do what we're doing right now and just talk about it, okay, so
it hasn't been easy.
Exactly. There have been years where it's been dominating, right? 2017, last year, those were dominating years. But there were times like you're right.
It was my freshman year, my sophomore year. We dominated. It was Heifeld, Micah, and Pargo.
Yeah, Bolden.
We blew everybody out by, I couldn't tell you. I remember this team right now reminds me of that team because it's like every score is up by 30.
Yep.
And I agree with you, man. But there's been years where we were like,
well, and that's what I'm so right. I mean, you go right after that.
Oh, yeah, right after that.
Right after where you're kind of looking at, oh, geez, hey, if we don't make this shot, or we always go back and talk, Matt, with those guys, the second year, we're playing at the Levy Center when it still had the bubble.
Yeah.
I don't know Jack, if you know the bubble, they had the bubble.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Right. So, Matt hits a shot. We beat Pepperdine in overtime in the championship game. So in 1999-2000, the WCC probably ain't getting an at-large bid into the tournament.
We
so
talked
how
about
does
that.
potentially change history? You talk with him, right? So those things. So we include that in our dominance of all these years and all the things that we've done. But you're one shot away or, one game away. Look at 2007.
Right.
We had some problems there. Yeah. And then, so it is interesting when you look at all of that, the big picture, you say, well, man, we're just killing everybody. When you dive into it a little bit, you say, well, there have been 3 or 4 years.
Only as strong as your weakest
where
link.
It's, it has been,
We had to go beat Santa Clara in Portland.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
Have you ever been lost for words on a call? Like, for example, that Jordan Matthews play against West Virginia. When it looked like it was a broken play, we're down 1 or 2.
Yep.
He hit that big 3.
That
transition 3.
The best part about that one for me was it was all happening, right? So we're down. So, that whole thing was kind of nerve-wracking because, we're expecting that team. We're like, okay, this is the team. We had how many teams, right? I think 2006 with Mo, when Mo was a junior and that crew and with JP, you're like, okay, this team might have a shot. And then your guys in 08, 09, you're thinking, okay, man, this team is talented. This team has a shot. Deep. Like everything was kind of lining up. And with that group, you were thinking that. And then the Northwestern game was happening and, and we're up. And then all of a sudden it gets a little bit dicey. And, and you're kind of, so you're in it because it's happening and you're not really thinking. Same thing on that play. Remember, because Perk came and swatted in. I remember talking to Coach after the game. Perk came and swatted that shot. He blocks the shot and then it goes to Nigel.
Ball.
Nigel brings it up, throws it.
Nigel almost loses it.
Absolutely. And the dude tips the pass. It barely gets through to Jordan, right? He catches his ankles and then shoots that thing. So that's all happening, and you're right on it, right? Because it's happening right in front of you.
It's slow-mo. It feels like slow motion.
Yeah. Now, the hardest part is like the ends of those. And the funniest and the best was so after that game, right? You're like, okay, great. And it's all happening around you, so you're not really having to think too much. But when we win the game to go to the Final Four and you're ahead, that's when it's happening, right? Because you're sitting there and we're going to win.
You're thinking
right?
of your call.
About 5 minutes, and you're sitting there, and here's Matt, God bless his soul, the Italian crier, and he's got tears in his eyes.
This 5 minutes ago against Xavier?
Yeah, against Xavier.
That's
and so,
awesome.
and we know what's happening, and you can feel it, and then at the NCAA tournament, our broadcast deal always varies. A lot of times we're right next to the bench, but sometimes in NCAA tournaments we're always across. And it was such a cool moment for me because you could look across and see the excitement. The players first and foremost, right? As it's winding down, what's happening, so you've got more time to think versus, man, it's still a 2-point game. Like I'm dialed into this thing because it's happening. So you've got time to think, and you're watching the players like, man, this is really cool. And then you see Coach Few, right? And you think man, he's been here since the 80s, and they said, why can't we do it here? And it's happening, and you're going to see from him. And Rob knows this. You don't see a whole lot of just pure joy on Coach Few's face. to see that kind of excitement, brewing up. And Tommy's been there forever, and B-Mike played at GU, and he's on the staff, and Donnie had been there for a while. And then you see people like the McCarthys who were sitting in the stands right behind the deal, who's their name is on the building, and they're such huge supporters, both emotionally, and obviously financially. You're seeing all that go on, and you're seeing all the people, Chris Stanford and Shannon Strahl and Ryan Oliver, and all the people who've been involved in Gonzaga for decades. Literally decades. And that was the hardest part, is you're sitting there and you're seeing it, and it's awesome. But now you're having to kind of think about it. And then I'm looking at Matt. I would say something as the game's going on. Go over at Matt, and Matt's got tears in his eyes, and it's like, okay, so I start talking again and whatever. And then it was funny because after we finished the postgame, and that was great because Perk came over, and Perk and Matt are, they're embracing this hug, and Matt's got tears coming down his eyes, and, and I'm still trying to talk while this is going on. And, and then I'm getting a little bit emotional because, Matt's my guy, and what's going on, Rob, what you had done, what all the players had done, everything that had built up to the moment. And so that was kind of the hardest part, was when you had time to think.
Yeah.
Right? Because you're like, oh, what's going on?
No
exactly. Yeah.
Right to you.
Yeah. And then Matt gave me after we got off the air and we're packing up and we're leaving. He's like, yeah, probably could have helped out a little bit more. I was like, yeah, probably. But it's good, man. Like you
Matt,
do
you
your
did
deal.
Your job.
Yeah,
you did
exactly.
your job.
You were fine. But
fired the next year.
Yeah. No. But what an awesome deal, right? For me to be sitting there with, one of the guys that started the run, for him to be working with me, and a guy who's become one of my really close friends, to see that and see that emotion and see how much guys care, and all the guys that came back for that Final Four,
for sure.
and all those things, like how cool it was, to be involved and to see that. It was really cool.
Yeah, man.
What was your call?
I don't even remember. I need to go back and listen to it. I remember, because my basic belief for me, like, I'm not, like, my personality isn't one of those that, like, I'm going to come up with witty catchphrases and be able to throw them in. That's just not who I am. Like, my belief has always been, and this is, you talk about, like, teaching guys and figuring out what you do, is, like, be yourself, right? So there's some guys that are great with their witty catchphrases and all the stuff. For me, my feeling's more like, hey, I just need to be prepared. If I'm prepared, the right stuff is going to come out because I know what I'm doing. I know the numbers. Hey, this is our first whatever, our fourth of this or whatever, fourth Final Four or whatever, fourth Sweet 16, in the last 5 years, whatever. Like, if you know that stuff for me and you're prepared, you kind of know it. That year that we were in Houston and with Kevin and Gary and that crew, Donnie
Duke.
Daniels, when we played Duke, right before the game, we're sitting at pregame meal and everybody gotten up. We'd done our interviews. We do a lot of our pregame stuff then. So Donnie's walking by and he stops. He says, "Hey, what's your call?" I was like, "What?" He's like, "What's your call going to be?" I was like, "Wait, what are you talking about?" And he's like, "When we go to the Final Four, what are you going to say?" And that was the first time that it really hit me.
I really never thought of it?
I had not thought of it.
Really?
I hadn't. Now, I go back to my hotel room and all I'm thinking is like, gosh dang it, what the heck am I going to say? Like, how, he was in my head.
To the Final Four!
But I will say, exactly, I will say this, though, because it was kind of interesting after he said that, and I started, kind of running through it, and then the next time, when we actually did make it, I remember, Al Michaels, when, the 1980,
Miracles.
right, when he said, "Do you believe in miracles?" I remember him kind of saying that he had been walking around the night before the game and just and not necessarily thinking what he was going to say, but just kind of some of the words that, and I think he said, whatever it was, "This is miraculous," or what a miraculous, blah, blah, blah. And it came out a little bit different, but again, he was kind of prepared and he was excited. Right. So, like, I didn't sit there and consciously think I am exactly going to say these words, but I will admit, especially before that championship game, it's Sunday night and I'm laying in bed and, I'm kind of can't sleep. You're excited and, and you're nervous. A, for me, but also just excited for everybody, and you're kind of sitting there thinking like, gosh, what am I going to say? And, and part of it is like, but you're also like, hey, you can't screw it up. That's the biggest fear,
Don't
right? I'm like, yeah, exactly. I'm like, Donnie, you killed me. I'm going to stumble and bumble and I'm going to be the, I'm going to be the fool who doesn't have a call. Exactly. But no, so I didn't really think about that too much. And so on that call, I'll have to go back and listen to it, but it was fun. And for me, too, the part of that fun is like letting the emotion and the fun come out of it versus I'm going to try really hard to have my catchphrase, And again, a lot of guys do that and they can do that and that's great. That's our personalities. Like for me, I'm not, I can't do that. Like I'm not that creative, I don't think.
You know what's fun?
So
This Epic Sports Bar.
Yes.
At Northern Quest.
Hey. These folks at Epic are awesome. The folks at Northern Quest, they've been great supporters of ours. It is awesome.
You probably don't get nervous at games because you're in it, right? Just like players generally, you're not nervous when you're playing in the game.
No,
competition takes over.
I'm prepared.
But watching it at an Epic Sports Bar, like Epic has to be nervous.
Yeah.
nerve wracking. I remember when Gonzaga lost at home to BYU to end the perfect season.
Yep.
I was kind of like, man, I'm jaded because it was a job. Like I didn't really care.
Yep.
We were going to be a 1 seed in the West. Like it didn't mean anything to
Right.
me. But I knew had I not been working in Spokane, had I been watching at home, I would have been like crestfallen.
Yeah.
So I do think now that I'm removed a little bit from Spokane, still obviously around the program, which is awesome, which is a dream come true. But the games mean a little bit more to me now.
Yeah.
And so I love coming to a place like an Epic Sports Bar and watching with other fans.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing too. Like, especially, I mean, you come out here during the tournament, right? I mean, how awesome is that?
Yeah.
I mean, you see, not just Gonzaga, you see everything else going on, and
Right.
you get invested. And it is funny, Rob, because I'd be curious for you, like in any of those games, like, did you get nervous at all? Like either going in or what's going on? Because like I'll say, like Final Four, like that kind of deal as we're making that run. There are times like we get into a break and you're kind of, Matt and I are looking at each other and you're kind of.
I think with the tournament, you can't get nervous for the fact that you have nothing to lose. If you go into that with that mind, I went into every tournament like, well, there's nothing to lose, so might as well just go out and play your balls off pretty much.
Yeah.
Just play hard and see where you can go from there.
Yeah.
And see how let bygones be bygones. I think with that mindset, you kind of play loose because you just.
Yeah.
There is no. If you put pressure, you're the only one putting pressure on yourself.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that I always have found to be kind of interesting is when we get into the tournaments. Like I don't know that because people always kind of ask me about you're leading in a game or whatever. Like I don't think I've ever been in one, and I don't care what year it's been, in one like pregame situation where you felt like this is going to be our last game. You know what I'm saying? Like every player, I mean, you walk out of that pregame meal, and I don't care, even if it was a game we're playing against somebody who's like, we're not a big favorite, or hey, we might struggle in this one. Even like when we played North Carolina, when they had Hansborough and Lawton and all those guys, like people that you guys weren't walking, the players weren't walking out of there saying,
you can't have that mindset.
Yeah.
If you go into that mindset, you've already lost.
Yeah.
So if you go in the mindset like, all right, well, we're winning this, and you already see yourself going to the next round. Even though they tell you not to overlook that team that you're playing against, you have to kind of have that mindset. Well, we're going to get through this team and we're going to move on to the next one, And I think if you go into you go into a game trying not to lose, you're going to lose.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's just really how it boils down to.
Uh-huh.
As a fan, if you're watching and it looks like you're going to lose, you start drinking a little bit of the brown water, you have a whiskey flu. But then to come back to life, you can come out to Northern Quest, celebrate, rejuvenate, breathe, experience an oasis of healing, tranquility, and joyful celebration at Le Rive Spa. You a spa guy? Don't.
You know what? I've got a horrible back, so I will say that
you need to
from
become
time
a
to
spa
time,
guy.
Be a spa guy.
Yeah, I will.
Celebrate, rejuvenate, breathe, bro.
Okay.
You can do all three.
I can do all three of those things. I have started doing yoga, so I can throw that in there with that.
Oh,
Yeah.
what's your favorite pose?
You know what? We had a little proud pigeon going today. I actually had some yoga going this morning.
Proud pigeon?
Yeah.
Can you demonstrate?
No. So here's
it'd
the
be really
crazy
good radio.
thing. Here's the crazy thing about yoga. It's kind of funny. The woman who teaches the class while we were in class today was having hip replacement surgery. So
Where do you take
I don't
classes?
want to do too much because I might, and the difference for her is probably over the course of 20 years. For me, it would be one. I would do that right now, and it would you would hear my hips snap in half, and that would be bad. But
You're an interesting guy to ask because you see PA guys don't travel. Okay,
Right.
So our good friend Kevin James
Yep.
doesn't know where he stands in the WCC. You see every PA guy.
that's true.
Where does Kevin James stand?
Another Gonzaga 3.
Are there some good ones out there? The BYU guys
there
gotta
are
be
some
there.
good guys. You know what's sneaky, and Rob can attest to this, being in L.A. Like you go into LMU, you roll in there, and they have their game day thing is solid.
It's fun.
They,
fun.
they might have the guy who's done Laker games or Clipper games might be the guy behind the mic.
Oh, really?
I mean,
It's
it
a side
is.
gig?
And we
Yeah.
for the last couple of years, actually, it's been interesting because the one of the guys that does where we sit on the bench, he does something for the TV crew. I am not exactly sure what it is, but he used to work Laker games when Mo was there.
Oh, really?
So him and
Get outta
Mo
here.
have struck up this friendship.
Oh, really?
And so it's really funny. It's like when you go in there, it's kind of an interesting deal because you maybe get a little bit of that.
So Kevin's lower level.
Kevin is right there. Kevin does a great job. I mean, honestly, because it's
Kevin or
and
Slim?
It's so
Kevin
funny.
or Slim?
Yeah, Kevin versus Slim. showdown.
So here's, in my defense, I can't make a call on that because I think I've heard Slim maybe twice.
Okay.
And I've heard Kevin a lot. Now, the funny part with that, too, is that you get the headsets on, you start doing your deal, and a lot of times it's kind of just garbled,
right.
and you can't really tell. But no, I think Kevin, I would put Kevin at number one, and not just because I'm kissing up to Kevin. I think when the excitement and and sometimes I wonder this about not just the PA guys, but kind of everyone. It goes back to that same deal of being excited when you haven't won in a long time, or
Kev says he gets juice.
Yeah.
Kev says he legit gets nervous.
Yeah,
And
it is.
Have you gotten scared that you were going to say something on air that you were like, "Huh, I better pull that one back"?
I have a couple of times.
And here's another one. Do you listen back to your games?
I will from time to time. Not a ton. When I was younger, I did a lot.
Just to know
just to listen and make sure that you're not falling in too many patterns or maybe not saying something. And now it's not quite as much, but I still will pop something in every once. I say pop it, whatever, an MP3
tape.
now, right? Yeah,
He's talking about a good
pop
old
a tape
cassette.
in. You know what's funny is I was actually Mo and I were just having this conversation. It's kind of funny, decluttering a little bit in the house, and going through. I've got old tapes and old stuff, and that's the thing. I found a cassette with my first game on. I'm like, well, how in the world am I going to get this back?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
How do I even listen to this?
Exactly. I have no idea. And then I tell my wife, I'm like, well, remember when we had that old tape player that we gave away because we didn't need it anymore? We need it, but Kate, too late. Yeah, thanks, Kate.
Rewind.
But, yeah, exactly.
Rewind.
But yeah, I do listen a little bit and just try to make sure that I'm not.
That's what I just thought of. People don't even know what rewind is.
Oh, right.
That's a good point.
The VHS. Remember you pop one in and it was starting at the credits?
My grandmother had the rewinder thing just so you could just put
it
in.
All it did was rewind?
Yeah, all you did
Save the heads on your
wow.
VHS.
Yeah.
Yep. Absolutely. And remember, you get fined 99 cents if you took it back to Blockbuster and
Big
you hadn't
time.
rewound it.
Oh, man.
I remember I lived with Matt Bolden sophomore year, and he had there was a Hollywood Video right by campus.
Oh,
Remember
yeah.
that?
I remember
He
that.
lived
Yep.
so.
Right by that Wendy's, right?
I had a card, and Matt ran up like a $200 bill on it. I swear to you, because he wouldn't return them. I wouldn't return them.
Did he
No, it
at least
wasn't
give you the movies?
It wasn't VHS. It was
Or
digital
you-
video discs.
Yeah.
I think, no, to his credit, he didn't maliciously do it, but he would forget that he had it, and then he was pot committed. He had to pretend like he never did it, kind of thing. I don't think people appreciate how much you do travel during the year.
Yeah.
And obviously, you get to know these places. You get to know specifically Malibu. You get to know San Diego.
Yep.
And you probably head over to PB when you can, if you're there for a day or so.
Yep.
You got to know the watering holes at these places, too.
Yeah.
Top 3 watering holes in the WCC.
On the tour. Let's see, because it's funny, we used to do, and my life has changed a little bit. We used to do gyms, right? Santa Clara, the Marriott that we used to stay in, Rob, that was the best gym on the circuit. That was always our joke. They actually had a little bit. You probably didn't get in there because you were playing.
No.
you weren't a red shirt when we were playing there. So
yeah, we did the milk challenge with me when I was there. That was
What's the milk challenge?
A gallon of milk in
Jesus.
an hour. It was not a good.
disgusting.
wow,
Yeah,
that does sound disgusting. So let's see, as we go around the league. Okay.
LA.
Lloyd will kill me. So LA. Well,
got the
at LA we
the
go to the Baja
cantina.
Cantina.
The cantina.
Yeah, the Cantina is where we
Do
go.
you end up
So
at the
that's-
Whaler?
Josh
at the
Cox
end?
is
The Whaler. When we are playing up in Pepperdine,
The
right, we
Whaler.
stay in Santa Monica. The Whaler is unbelievable. Chez J, that's the place. Yeah, Josh and I went to right across the street. Yep.
Hey, I only asked for 3.
Now
I
we're
need
getting
14.
excited. Okay, well, and that's the thing. I'm trying to throw them all out there, and then I'm trying to remember. So that's down there. The Imperial Bar, when we go to San Francisco, right down the street. The happy hour to end all happy hours, but they only take cash.
Oh, in the wharf?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Can I give you guys a little tipperoo?
Yeah, please do.
When I don't know when this airs. San Francisco, we're taping this on Tuesday, the 28th. I went on a recommendation to the Applebee's on the wharf for their happy hour. Don't look at me that way, Rob. I had
I'm
2
gonna look at you
hours to
like
kill. I had 2 hours to kill on a Friday, and I went and stayed for 3 hours because I had the time of my life.
Nice.
Highly recommend. You guys are right down the street of the Argonaut. Oh, am I supposed
Nice.
to say what hotel you're at?
Repeat that again, please.
I went by myself Friday afternoon to the Applebee's happy hour. Listen, This isn't
Well,
just.
no,
This
no,
isn't
no,
your.
I'm not justifying.
This
I'm
isn't
not-
your
don't-
neighborhood.
You don't need to feel
Applebee's.
judged.
This
You don't need to
Applebee's
feel judged.
It's located in Fisherman's Wharf, and it's on the
Yeah.
3rd level, and it looks out onto the bay. You see Alcatraz, you see the bridge. It's
Yeah,
gorgeous,
it's a beautiful area right there.
and you get some riblets. I thought about doing the 2 for $25 combo, right? But I didn't want to eat 2 entrees by myself.
Rob, what are we doing right now?
No, this is our show for sure.
yeah.
This
What-
is how we end up.
So I'm just saying, if you're looking
now,
for
Bring us
okay.
back,
Now,
bring
hey,
us
about
back,
at the
Huddy.
Buena Vista.
Oh,
Buena
Irish
Vista,
coffees.
Irish coffees.
big time.
Hey, so I'll tell. We'll go off the track here a little bit.
Yeah,
so Buena Vista, that's my family place from. Again, when it was, my family's a lot of them are from San Francisco. So when we went to San Francisco as part of our honeymoon, when my wife and I got married. So we roll. I'm like, we have to go to the Buena Vista. We have to go drink Irish coffee.
Irish coffee spot.
They invented
it's right
Irish
on,
coffee.
It's right on Ghirardelli.
Okay.
So we roll in there, and we're just married, and we're all happy and giddy, and we're drinking. And
Is that what happens when you first get married?
yeah, don't you remember that, Rob? A few years ago. I mean, I'm still happy and giddy.
Oh,
It's
okay.
19
I didn't
years
know.
later.
Oh,
Come
okay.
on,
I'm
Rob.
just
That's just when it
clarifying.
starts, and it keeps going.
All right, cool. I'm excited.
You're not having that?
No, I am. I'm
Okay,
just,
good.
I'm just clarifying.
Good. So we roll in there, and we're sitting there, and we're sitting at the bar. And it's great because they all wear these white coats, like lab coats, and it's very, they put the
it's
sugar
cool.
cubes in. It's an awesome experience. It
It's
really
a
is
tourist
fun.
trap.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
So I look over my shoulder. I'm like, gosh, that guy looks familiar. I look again, and my wife's a little bit younger than me, so I'm not sure she's going to remember this. And I'm like,
Mark Twain.
nope. Close. Peter Brady.
What?
Yeah, Brady Bunch. Peter Brady.
Tell you what, this was 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Peter Brady probably looked good circa 2000.
You might have
Hey,
had
he did. So I turned my
Hey,
wife around.
yeah,
I was
Hey,
gonna
wait
say
a
you
second,
better
like-
change your wife's
So
direction.
so we were laughing. It was like, back then you didn't have cell phones, cameras, or whatever. I was kind of like, you think he'd be offended if I took out our little camera and asked him to take a picture of us?
No.
Right? Instead
Oh,
of like,
ask him to take a
ask him to
picture.
take our picture
That
instead
would
of
be
like,
awesome.
hey Pete, can we get a picture with you? Instead, just be like, hey man, can you take our picture? But she wouldn't let me do it. But yeah, so we're just sitting there next to Peter Brady, and that's the Buena Vista. So there's a lot of good. A lot of good times had in there. Portland, we go around the corner.
we don't need to explain where Portland.
Yeah, no. I'm thinking
Oh, a special.
Kelly's Olympian is where we go. Josh Knox
Very
helped me out a
nice
little bit.
waitresses in Portland.
Yeah,
that's
and
very
there it's
Is that what that is?
Waitresses.
Waitresses. Oh, okay.
yeah. I'm not talking about that place.
Okay.
We're talking about
Per capita.
Yeah,
Per capita.
Highest.
Yes.
Most.
Yeah.
Most in
No.
per capita.
Strong waitress union.
yeah. Kelly's Olympian. I don't think they have waitresses. I think it's all guys working there.
Okay. Hey, whatever. Hey, Eddie, listen.
Yeah, whatever gets you.
Boat,
Yeah,
brother.
20, bro.
exactly.
Whatever. Yeah.
It's all good.
Yeah.
2020.
No, but it's that's a good spot in Portland. And let's see where else.
Provo.
Provo. So I will say this: the first year that we went, that we played BYU, the first year they were in the league,
Yeah.
we stayed in Provo.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to remember the name of the first bar.
There ain't nothing to remember.
Well, but now
Whoa.
here's the thing, Rob. It was like biker bars. As a matter of fact, Leon Rice, Boise State was playing.
Okay.
And we were trying to find a place where we could watch Leon and
Right.
the Broncos playing. So we roll into this place, and it is hardcore. Like
Roadhouse.
bikers, like it is roadhouse. It is tough. Tiny little place. We're asking the bartenders, like, hey, can you get the, and the guy's looking at us like we're crazy. So we end up leaving there. It was pretty small. So, we're all shocked. I mean, we
Mormon
heard about
bikers.
Provo. Yeah, we'd heard about Provo, right? So, I mean, it's, not going to be a lot of bars, not going to be a lot of stuff. So we walk down the street a little bit, and we come across this place, and it's a 3-story bar/restaurant. So we walk in, and on the main floor is like a pretty high-scale restaurant. But the tables are all set up on a dance floor, and there's a DJ booth set up. We walk in, and there's nobody in the DJ booth. We walk in, and it's late. We'd gotten there late enough. So we walk in, and they've got menus, and, it's like, oh, sure. So we sit down, and we start to eat.
Is there a
So
poll,
then there's
Tom?
like
Is there a poll
there's
in
not a
this?
poll.
Okay.
No, there's not a poll in this story. So the second story was a country bar, and then the third one, I forget what it was. But so we're sitting there, and
What
we're
city is this?
eating in Provo.
Stay with us.
Yeah.
Sorry.
God.
And so, we're
Stay
kind
with
of
us.
like trying
So
to figure
dumb.
out what's going on here. So all of a sudden, as we're eating dinner, DJ comes up, and DJ starts playing music. So we're in the middle of the dance floor, sitting at dinner tables. DJ is playing music.
Oh, no.
They've got a country bar up above us, and we're trying to figure out what in the world is going on.
Welcome to Provo.
it was different than what we heard. Like, you had no idea going there because everything that you had heard, right? It was our first time in the league that we had gone there. And we stay in Salt Lake City now. So we've done that for however many years it's been. And we were only in Provo that 1 year. There was the hotel was being remodeled and
Yeah, you didn't need to go back.
yeah, so we stay in Salt Lake now. It's about a 45-minute to an hour drive,
Easy.
and so Salt Lake's got some nice spots
Yeah.
that we hang out. And the McCarthys live there, and so we'll
You have a good time.
spend some time with Phil and Tom, especially after wins.
Yeah.
They enjoy immensely when Gonzaga beats BYU.
Oh,
So
that's
we have
fair.
a great time with them, and it's really fun.
Favorite or better travel buddy, Adam or Matt?
Oh,
Man,
Better roommate.
put me on the spot.
oh, Matt, no question. For roommate?
Okay,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
now sneaky though, it might be Adam because we don't share a room.
Oh, look at that. You go to a Final Four, program gets money, baby. Couple of rooms for the radio guys.
Well, yeah, kind of. But so Mo and I are in different spots in our lives,
Okay.
and so I'm
Oh, my goodness.
settled and dialed in, and have my kids and my wife, and so So it was actually fun when we talked to Mo about taking the job. There was it's like, well, hey, here's how we do this. Like, there's not really a budget to. I was like, and he looked at me. He was like, hey, Huddy, nothing personal, but.
I
was
need
like,
my own space.
Good for him.
I was like, hey, man, I completely get it. I do. So it's
mean-
kind of interesting. But the funny thing is, like, it was really weird for me. I'll be honest. And obviously, it's nice having your own room. I'm a grown man. It's nice having your own room. But you also understand the economics and everything of it.
Yeah.
But like
And
with,
you miss-
but with Matt, now it was kind of weird because honestly, you got to the point you're like, hey, let's go have breakfast, or hey, we get to Vegas. I'm like, hey, let's go.
Yeah.
Those are some of our epic
Easier.
stories. Like, okay, we're gonna get to Vegas.
Step Brothers.
We're not going exactly.
Radio
We were
Step
Step Brothers.
Brothers.
We were the
Radio
Radio
Step
Step Brothers. Absolutely. And so
Yeah.
we
Dale
go and we
go
go
back
around.
over
Yeah.
here. Dale go back.
And then with Mo, it's a little bit different because like we go our separate ways, and we spend a lot of time together. And we
That's
still
the
we go out and we hang
Yeah,
out.
yeah.
We have a lot of fun.
He's the
But it is-
redheaded stepchild. Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm the redheaded stepchild. Trust me. Like when we have conversations about how our nights were, I'm the guy that I'm
we
pretty
don't need that. Yeah.
yeah, we went to the movies, or we went to Applebee's and we had a few beers, and then we went back to the room, and
get a
Mo
blooming
was a
onion?
different world. I hate onions, so no.
Potato skins
No.
at Applebee's, brother.
Pretty good. Yeah.
Good to go.
Yeah, but Mo plays a lot of cards too, man. Mo's he'll go and get some shifts in playing cards. He's a good
He
poker
is.
player,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
So it's but yeah,
comes
it is
out to
different. So I
Quest
don't
a
know.
couple
By
times.
default, I mean I don't have a roommate, so
So you're picking Matt.
yeah, I guess we'll go with that.
Tom's selling himself short, by the way. Tom's making it sound like he's super innocent on the road. He just named 14
No,
bars.
I won't. Yeah, no, I won't do that entirely. I'll just say that Mo and I have different.
Lifestyles.
Yes, yeah,
On-
we're at different stages in our lives. So let's say that we're at different points.
No, there's nothing wrong. He just
No.
needs his space.
He
That's
needs
all.
the space. That's a good way to put it, Rob.
On a serious note, what can you say about Adam's development on the radio? Because I'll say, just from a guy who's in the industry, just casually listening, I was floored with how good he was very quickly.
Yeah, he's done a great job, and I think, I mean, to be honest, one of the great things for me, and with all the guys, one of the things about having all the guys back, when I look over the time, I'm like, Rob, I could have Rob come and start working with me at some point if you want to, and it'd be awesome, right? Great, like, passion for the program.
Energy's huge.
Right.
Energy's
great.
yeah.
Feel for what we are and who we are. Obviously played, a lot of things. Well spoken. There are a lot of great things, and
Well,
we've
guess
had that
what?
through.
I don't want to work
You're
with
not coming. I know. Well,
I got
that
Jack.
hurts my feelings.
Rob,
You do
get-
have Jack.
We
We could fit games
Yeah.
in, and you
Yeah.
guys do.
We
split
will
rooms.
share. We can share a room.
You can share, yeah.
without issues.
But,
Maybe.
but I have been fortunate. Yeah, right. Yeah, that's what you say. I was by myself when I started, right, for the first couple of years. Then Richard Fox did home games with me for 1 year, and then was on the road with me. Did all the games for a few years, and then Matt started, and then I had Corey for a year.
Did you have Corey?
Yeah, we had 1 year. 1 year, and we could tell some good San Francisco stories there too. That was we had one trip where they were trying an experiment. So we had a Wednesday game and a Saturday game, and
God.
we got to the Bay Area on Tuesday. We went to
my
Alcatraz.
God.
That was fun. Corey was a little rattled by being there that long, which I understand because those guys all have other jobs. So for me,
That's
it's
a
what I
week,
do.
yeah.
But no. So we had Corey for a year, and that was fun. And then Matt came back, and now having Mo. So it's been great because, like I said, every guy has been a part of the program, and so that's been cool. And then Mo is like so sneaky. One of the things I tell, and Rob, you probably know this as well as anybody, that I tell people about Mo all the time that probably people don't understand. is he is one of the most loyal people that I've met.
Yes.
He loves Meade High School. He loves Spokane, Washington. He loves Gonzaga. His teammates, and it's sneaky because I think people, the impression of Mo is that he's just kind of this,
he comes off as an ass.
Guy. Yeah,
he comes off as an ass.
Yeah,
but it doesn't mean to be. But
No.
he's such an introvert.
Yeah, absolutely. He is an introvert.
He's very
without
introverted,
a doubt.
and
Yep.
he doesn't mean to be that way. But
No.
people, they run up to him, and not a lot of people can just say hi to just strangers.
Well,
so.
no, absolutely, and he's done such a great job. It always amazes me, to this day. I mean, he's 10 years removed from the league.
Yeah.
And the number of people who still will come up and talk to him. And it's not just Gonzaga fans. I mean,
Right.
we'll be in the airport in the Bay Area. We'll be in the
you're Adam
airport in New York.
Morrison.
It's like,
So
hey, Adam.
recognizable.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
and that's interesting. But he's done a great job. He has. And he's got great insight. He's got great feel for the game.
Extremely intelligent.
Yes, he is very intelligent. He is very intelligent.
And most people don't realize, because he, like you say, he's very introverted, but he comes off and you just like, what's his? But then when he speaks, you're like, this dude is
Yes.
in
Well
depth.
read and pays absolutely
yes,
pays attention to what's
yes.
going on. I mean, some of the conversations that we have sitting in an airport waiting for a connection,
I can
or
imagine.
sitting at the bar after a game having a hamburger.
I love having
it's
talks
midnight.
with him.
Yeah,
He
it
just talks with him. You
Yeah.
can go around and talk about anything with him, and he's engaging and very, like you said, well spoken, and he can talk to you about anything.
Yeah,
Yes.
he can, and he does a great job, and it's fun too. Sometimes you have to. And I always joke with the guys that I work with. I'll always laugh because the great thing about being on the radio, and people ask me about that all the time. TV and all this stuff. Like, we go everywhere, right? I was in the Bahamas. I was in Maui. I go to every NCAA tournament game, right? You do all that stuff, and so I always kind of laugh. I'll be like, hey, the North Carolina and we went to North Carolina last year. It's like, I should be paying somebody to be doing this. Like, I'm sitting courtside, and Roy Williams is walking up and saying hello, and and I'm watching.
Coaches introduce themselves?
Some of them do. He's
Okay.
he's one of the nicest guys.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, he's unbelievable. He is.
I heard he
is
doesn't
big time.
cuss. I heard
No.
he's big on all that.
No.
stuff.
I heard
he's,
he's a big fan of Northern Quest.
He
from what
is
I
a big
understand.
fan of Northern Quest. I may or may not
tables.
have seen him here, but
That was an opportunity to
he-
read some facts, but I missed it.
No, well, you can
Well,
grab it.
we'll do it.
But no, I mean, but that's the thing. So then you laugh where it's like, okay, now when we're playing, a game against Alabama State, where you're winning by 60, it's like, okay, this is where you earn your money, right? And that's why I always have to tell the guys, like, it's easy for when it's a close game or it's a big opponent or whatever, and so that's the thing. Is like, so he'll sometimes we'll kind of joke. He's like, hey, when can we start telling stories? I'm like, all right, go ahead, go ahead and share one, and he'll share some of his NBA stuff or some of that stuff. So that's been kind of fun too. We've been able to branch out that way a little bit, but it was a great job. Does a great feel for it. I love. He'll needle Coach Few a little bit, which is kind of fun.
Needed.
And
Not a lot of guys can
needed.
do that,
Yeah.
I feel like.
no, and
he's
he
one of them.
does. Yeah, he does. And then actually, it was great. I was kind of laughing. You talk about guys coming full circle. Last year, Snacks took a couple of
Dumb shots.
questionable,
We
dumb
can just
shots.
we'll call it dumb
He
shots.
took a couple of dumb shots, maybe like 3 in a row. And Mo's like, hey, look, I don't want to bag on the kid. That's kind of his thing. He's like, he's an amateur, and we're not going to, he's like, but you can't do that. And I looked at him. I was like, all right, ladies and gentlemen, you're like, hey, January, 26th, like 2019, Adam Morrison just said somebody took a bad shot. And I was like, and if Adam Morrison said you took a bad shot, you better believe that was a horrible shot. So
That's
Snacks,
awesome.
you need to knock it off like that. Like if Mo says it's bad, then we know we're living in a different deal. And so
But
that's
the basket,
kind of interesting.
no, you can't. You can't compare Snacks to Mo because the basket was enormous with Mo.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's what's funny. It's like you're talking, and that's one of the fascinating things. He'll say that. He'll kind of be like, well, okay, we're going to see if this guy's, and it always makes me laugh. We're going to see if he's a good teammate. It's like because he knows he's getting checked out. Like 5 minutes left in the game. It's like you miss the free throw on purpose and get a little more run, and maybe get up a couple shots real quick before you come out. Or
That's
you could
going-
make it and let your guy come in.
Well,
So I mean,
no,
he talks about stuff like that.
Really?
It's hilarious. Yeah, it's hilarious when he starts talking about that stuff.
You
It's-
get to see that guy.
Yep.
Yeah.
And he's just waiting there.
Yep.
And he's like waiting to get in. If you make that shot, he might be he's going to take your spot. But if you miss,
Yeah.
you might have another 5 more minutes.
Yeah,
be.
yeah. It's fascinating. It's been so much fun with him. It is, and he's so. I mean, really, he's so honest. In a very good way. And I kind of laugh sometimes. I say, he can say stuff maybe that some of us can't. And it's okay, it's that deal. Like I equate
that's
it
for real.
like the
That's
Charles
for real.
Barkley deal
No,
a little
it
bit,
is
right?
for
Where
real.
like
It
Charles
is.
Barkley says things that if any of us said, you'd get fired on the spot. But
Yes.
it's like, well, it's just Charles. And sometimes with Mo, you're kind of, he actually said something, I don't remember what it was, and it might have been his first year. And we go to break, and I look at him, and I'm laughing because it was hilarious.
Yeah.
And I was like, Mo, do you know what you just said? He's like, well, it's true, isn't it? And I was like, well, yeah. It is. Actually, yeah. Like, and it was
You
like,
know what?
So it's fun. Jack, he's done a great job, and we've had a ton of fun with it. And like I said, that's been one of the cool ones that I think maybe gets lost, not just with Mo, but with all the players as time moves on, is how important it is to everybody and how much feeling there's. Like when you talk about, like, we win a WCC championship, and everybody just kind of assumes now we just win them.
Yeah,
right?
right.
That just happens and blah, blah, blah.
They're easy.
Yeah, exactly. And you talk about the pride, like when it's happened, last year even, when we're just blowing people out, it's still like, hey, this is what we do. Everybody wants to talk about March and all the other stuff. It's like, the first thing we want to do is win a league championship, and this is important, and this is a big deal. And you see that, and it's important for the guys to hear it a little bit too. We're sitting at pregame, and he'll talk about those things. And I think that part is might surprise people a little bit, is how much pride he takes in the small things that happen in the program, and how things are done and what goes on. So that's been cool. And it's also cool to see these guys grown up a little bit, right? Because everybody a lot of times, and it's fun having Rob back too, and I'm not doing this just because I'm on your podcast, Rob. But, it's a different person.
You're doing it a little bit because you're
Yeah,
on
a
this
little
podcast,
bit. I need to catch up to Rob. No, but you see an 18-year-old guy, and then you see a guy when he's 30 or he's 35 or he's 40, and let's judge the guy on what he's become today versus what he was when he was 18, right?
Honestly, I think Rob looks better now, no hair.
Yeah, no,
than
he
the
does.
hair
He looks
had in college.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you agree with that?
You've been talking about wife?
Did she agree?
Yeah,
got
she
good
hates. She hates Rob with hair.
I'm about to remove my hat.
Are we gonna see the last?
We're going to
of the
talk
hair?
about it a little bit.
Oh yeah.
Because Tom Hudson, unfortunately for all of us,
Has
is
a
on
nice-
radio. He's got a beautiful salad. Beautiful head of hair.
Yes,
Well,
he does.
Great lettuce.
We're losing it.
I'm not.
we're hanging in there.
I'm not. See, I feel like I got.
No, it's got to go. I'll be real with you. It's
When does it
gotta-
have to go?
Now.
Lissa's
I'm
look-
in the
Lissa,
moment.
when does it have to go?
Now.
I got to take it down now?
Yes.
Wow.
Listen. I've been wearing a hat. I've been wearing. Now Haley's looking.
Yeah.
I've been wearing a hat for 5 hours.
And what does that
I'm
do?
like, it's hot over here. It mats the hair down.
No. There is no hair.
Tyler, that's a bad
There is
angle.
no hair to mat anything down.
I hang on. I'm hanging on. Guys, here's the thing. I recently started 4 hymns. Takes 2 months. I'm on I keep forgetting to take the pills.
Oh, so okay.
Talk to me in April
Okay.
when I have
We
a
will.
Tom Hudson salad.
You have a full head of hair. We'll do that.
Those are
We're gonna keep that on.
Moving on. Before we do our Northern Quest starting 5 all-time announcers, I got a question for you.
Okay.
Favorite Thanksgiving tournament? Your favorite Thanksgiving job? It's pretty much Maui or Bahamas, right?
Maui.
Maui. Because it's a little more history.
I think there's a little more history. I think they still get the best teams, and the Bahamas just jumped right in there.
Yeah.
You know what's a sneaky one? And Rob, I don't remember if you played when we played the preseason NIT. We did go.
I didn't.
You might
go.
have been.
You guys went to
hurt.
New York.
Yeah,
the
we
year
went to New
before-
York.
The year before.
And that's
I got-
crafty, being in New York City at Thanksgiving time, and you got the Christmas tree and all this stuff. That's pretty fun. But Maui is special. I mean, it is. And the Bahamas is great. I mean, we were just there, and it's awesome. But I think Maui, just with the history, selfishly, the weather has always been nice when we've been in Maui.
Well, that's
Maui was my first year. You talk about it like kind of a fun story. My first year, we play Hofstra on Friday night at the Kennel. Saturday morning, we're on a bus driving to the airport. We get to Maui, put my key in the door, open it up, look out, beach view from my room, turn on the TV, watching the Apple Cup, looking around like, this is unbelievable. And that was the year, remember, I mean, so like Utah had Rick Majerus, right? Gary Williams was coaching Maryland. I think Tubby Smith was at Kentucky. I mean, all those schools were there. And, and I'm walking around like, man, what the
Your
heck?
first
I
Maui.
just hit the lottery. Yeah, my first Maui. That was in 2002. And so, you're walking around, you're looking. I remember we went to the media deal and we're leaving, and Coach Few and Bill Greer and myself are getting on the shuttle to go back to our hotel. And Rick Majerus comes out in a convertible Mustang, with two women who have to be probably 30 years younger than him in bikinis, and hops into the deal.
Ricky.
And drives away, and I'm looking around like, what in the world is happening right now?
Welcome to Utah
Exactly.
basketball.
You're like, well, this is amazing. But no, it was so much fun for me that first year, obviously. But then we've been back, 5 times since then, I think. And it's just, they do a wonderful job. That gym is so much fun to me. I like those little, I like the guys probably like the NBA places and all that stuff. But that tiny little gym
is
there's
100
history in there, and
degrees.
it's 100 degrees. And it's loud and it's obnoxious. Matter of fact, my family came last year, and I told my wife, she took the kids, and I said, you've got to understand, this is unique because someone's always cheering, right? Most times you're at a game, right? The home team, if they're doing well, they're cheering. If the other team is, it's kind of quiet. It's like here you've got one side, you've got 1,500 Duke fans, you have 1,500 Gonzaga fans.
It's loud either which way.
When a whistle blows, 1,500 people are screaming at the official.
Yeah.
And when the whistle blows against the other team, same deal. When a basket is made, everybody's going nuts. Whistle, as a matter of fact, my son, who was 5, they made it through one half, and they had to leave because it was so loud.
Yeah.
But it's a great feel. And the thing is, too, that's cool is you look at the history of the event. Like you walk in and you see all the players
Matt
and all the
Steve
stuff.
are still up there, right?
Yeah.
Or is it just Steve that's up on in the part of the mural?
Yeah.
Is it Steve?
Yeah, Steve's on there. And you know what it was actually funny was that game that year that Steve made it, right? The championship game against
Cincinnati overtime.
So, real quick, 2 great stories about that. So that game is physical, right? And it's tough, and all the stuff's going on. Yep, Yancey Gates, right? Yep, yeah.
Lance Stevenson.
Yes, Lance Stevenson. That is a great
Was
call.
Lance Stevenson? Really?
That's a great call.
He was on that team.
So that's when I'm working with Richard. So Richard Fox is with me, and the chairs that they provide at Media Row and it's a civic center. It literally is like it's a community building where kids come and play basketball.
Yeah.
Right. So one time a year they put people in there. It's smaller than most high school gyms, honestly. So there are those little plastic chairs with like the metal deals. So we're sitting there, and we all know Richard is 7 feet tall. I mean, legit 7. I mean, we're not lying, right? So when he and I, the couple years that we're working together. We sit next to each other. It's like me sitting next to Rob. Right? I mean, he's a foot and a half higher than I am. He's sitting there. So we're going, and we're done, and the game's happening. And all of a sudden, Richard goes from a foot and a half above me to a foot and a half below me.
Boom.
The chair breaks.
Oh, that's awesome.
And Richard hits the ground.
Boom.
Boom. And he was talking at the time. And you hear him. Yeah, exactly.
Like,
you hear the right, and when a big fella goes down, right?
Yeah.
But the headset stays on, so he goes out and he keeps talking. Now I go from looking up at him while he's talking to looking down at him, and I absolutely lose my mind.
Yeah.
I cannot stop laughing. He cannot stop laughing. So the game's going on, and I literally cannot look at him. We go to break, right? The media timeout happens, so we've got a 2-minute break.
On there?
Oh, yeah. I was like, well, hey, Richard just went down, but he's good, blah, blah, blah. Okay. If you just heard that thud, and so, we're talking about it, and we're cracking up. And so we go to break, and for 2 minutes, we're laughing. Like, we cannot stop. Like, so he's looking for a new chair, right? Because there's not a ton of help there. So, somebody finds him a chair.
Trying to do your show.
And then we come back to the game. And every time I look at him, man, I have tears just pouring down my face. And he's the exact same. So we can't stop laughing. He gets up and leaves to go to the restroom during one of the timeouts. And there's, right there, I mean, the seats are right behind you. I mean, literally 2 feet behind you, there are fans sitting there. And so these guys get up and they start hitting me like, man, you have to stop laughing at him. Like, we feel bad for him. And I'm like, I'm trying. Like, I can't. So we both are literally looking. He's looking one direction. I'm looking in the other direction. And we can't. So finally, I don't remember at the end of the first half, Rob, there was a tech. Meach got into it. It might have been Yancey Gates or maybe Stevenson. You got the T.
I got a technical.
And Meach came flying in.
It was Meach. Got a tech. We both got techs that game. And
his was right at the end of the half.
Because he got they hard fouled him. I remember they hard fouled him, and he got up, and Meach wasn't afraid of nobody. That was the best thing about Meach. And then I remember Toyloy coming over, and I was like, oh, boy, I got to get in there. And it ended up being a double technical. And I don't remember who else got. Toilo and I both got texts, and then him and Meech got somebody. So we canceled each other out.
Yeah, and for us, that was actually the one thing that got us back to
You're welcome.
kind of functioning.
it
Thank
got
you.
serious?
Because then you're like, okay, wait, and it happened right in front of us.
Yeah.
So it's like, hey, there's going to be a fight right here. So it kind of
yeah.
snaps back. And as a matter of fact, we had that in, it was when Jay and Kevin were still over with
Up on the hill.
whatever it is, up
Yeah.
on the hill. And so we gave them the audio, and they play. And I still have it somewhere. I have an email of it, and I still every once in a while I'll just play it, and you hear it, and then you just hear us giggling like little girls. It was the most hilarious deal. And because you guys went to overtime, we were flying back that night.
Missed a flight.
Richard, we didn't miss it, but I mean you're in Maui, so you're wearing shorts and
Right.
you're wearing
Yeah.
a Hawaiian shirt and you're wearing flip flops. We're sprinting through the airport.
Yeah.
And we were on the worst. I won't say who was involved in booking our travel, but it wasn't good. We went Maui to Honolulu, Honolulu to L.A., L.A. to Denver, Denver
What?
to Spokane.
Janky.
Yeah.
The definition of janky.
Yes, and we actually met Richard's dad in Denver because it was Thanksgiving, so his dad was flying up. But so I guess I was thinking, but so like you're getting off the airplane in Denver in
Exhausted.
Hawaiian shirts, and and you're just exhausted. You get all this stuff on. It was crazy, but Maui's great, man. I mean Maui and Rob, you played there. I mean everything about it. They do it right. And not the Bahamas because Bahamas is right there. I mean, it's right there. But Maui is Maui's special, man. Maui's a good spot.
Well, Tom Hudson special. We're going to knock out the Northern Quest starting 5 announcers all time. And we both agreed to leave Tom Hudson off
Okay,
because it's not fair.
that is not fair.
It's not fair.
Okay.
I'm gonna start my point guard with Gus Johnson.
Oh,
That's tough. Dick Vitale.
Dick Vitale's a good one. I'll go Terry Gannon,
Terry Gannon.
who actually played basketball.
Yeah, at NC State.
Very
he was
good.
on that team that beat my
Yeah.
Houston Cougars. By Slam
I didn't know he played basketball until I saw that documentary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Booger McFarland.
Booger McFarland. I'm going. I'll go Kevin Harlan.
Kevin
My
Harlan.
3 spot.
Really?
Yeah, I like Kevin Harlan a lot. He's a goofball.
Yeah.
Jeff Van Gundy.
Oh, Van Gundy. 4. I like Dave Fleming a lot. Big Dave Fleming guy.
Okay. I see where you... I'm going with... See, I'm stuck with the NBA guys.
That's fine.
Are you sure? Yeah, no. Because I get nervous with these games you play.
That's okay with me, buddy. That's okay with me.
Chip. L.A. Lakers.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He invented the alley-oop.
I bet he did.
Yeah. And also some other phrases.
A lot of other phrases. See, now he's a guy who had that ability.
Yes,
I couldn't do that.
He actually got in a lot of trouble. He's passed away now, but he got in a lot of trouble back in the day.
For pushing the envelope a little bit.
Nah, he called Allen Iverson a monkey hanging on the rim.
Okay.
Okay.
My 5 is Bill Walton.
Ooh.
See, we're Bill Walton guys.
Okay.
Are you a Bill Walton guy?
I am not, but I've been compared to him many
Oh,
of
okay.
times going on my little tangents. So,
I'll let you think for a sec, Rob, while you're doing that. You guys would be shocked at the number of people that walk up to me and say, "What can you do about getting Bill Walton off our games?" I've got a hotline to ESPN.
I believe it.
I know.
And, yeah.
Spokane is not a
No. Keep thinking,
Bill
Rob,
Walton
because
town.
I will say this. When he was here for the first game that he called here, it was great because some of our guys took him around town, and then we went and met him at Jack and Dan's. We had lunch,
yeah.
and he was unbelievable. I mean, people think he's not prepared. He just kind of rolls in there. He
No,
was taking notes.
I heard he's
Yep.
extremely
Extremely prepared. He was asking all sorts of stuff about Spokane, about the region, about the
Well, that's what he likes.
tribes,
He doesn't
about
show
everything.
up.
Yeah. He
But
likes to
I'll
do
also
that.
say this though. We went to shoot around, and he's like, "Hey, will you sit with me?" And we went through the whole deal. He was like, "All right, hey, tell me about Rui. Like what makes him good? What makes him not? Like, what are things if he's struggling? What's he struggling?" I mean, he was very in tune to the basketball. I think a lot of people think he doesn't pay any attention to the basketball. But we sat there for 45 minutes, and he was asking about every guy on the roster. And I mean, he's out there, man. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I completely get that. But I'll also say this: when we were in the Bahamas, I was watching Pepperdine in Arizona when they were playing in the Wooden back in Anaheim. He had the game. I was working, getting ready for our next game. I didn't have a dog in the fight. I didn't care if Pepper Arizona won. I was just watching it. I was kind of laughing, right? Like, now I get if it's your team, it might drive you crazy. But like for me, just watching the game, I was kind of laughing. He just kind of tangent here, like like you, Rob, kind of going all over the place. I'm like, hey, you know what? It's actually okay.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. Even as a Zach fan, I don't care. Like I don't need him for me to be into the game. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
tell me a story. I don't care.
Stop. Alfonso. I like Alfonso. I can't say his last name right now.
Ellis?
Yes.
Fonz?
Alfonso Ellis.
Yep.
Yes.
Awesome. He is one of the best dudes out there.
Thank you.
He is one of the best
Thank
dudes
you.
out there. I have done 2 or 3 games where he's had us, and he is the most unbelievable. And he played for the Nuggets when I was in Denver.
Check.
And
Okay.
great, yeah,
Check.
Yep.
Mate.
yeah, great dude. On one of the nicest, awesome
I'm
dude.
amazed you didn't say Dan Dicko. You're such a fan.
I like Dan a lot. What are you talking about?
No, I'm just amazed you didn't use his name. That's first.
I'm going to use Tom Hudson's name once more and thank him for coming out to Northern Quest. Epic.
That's fun.
You come out here, we fit you with some ice, Tommy.
Yeah,
Have you ever
wow.
heard of Vincero?
I don't
Yeah.
think he has.
Well,
Let me tell you about Vincero, brother.
okay.
Vincero creates exceptionally crafted watches, and they do it at a fair price. There is a reason they have over 20,000 5-star reviews, because you won't find a better watch, better made, at a good price, anywhere else. Here's the story. They're my buddies from college, Gonzaga
Nice.
guys.
Oh, they really?
Out of San Diego,
Nice.
428 Mission.
That's
I
good.
don't know why I keep giving their address. Like people.
I know. It makes me good party house. Good party house.
But here's the deal. Tomo. You get a watch of your choosing. And
Oh,
now
man.
you're the third one we've done today, so the selection's dwindled. But look at these watches.
Those are really nice.
Aren't they nice?
Yeah, Josh Cox is sitting over there. At least he was. And
Josh
he knows
has one on.
He travels with us, and Josh knows me making a decision is pretty tough. You,
Oh,
you guys
boy.
were asking about
you
bars
don't-
and
you
restaurants
don't
and
like
that
to grab
stuff.
the bull by
I
the
can't.
horns?
I might have to have one of you guys pick it for me, because if not, we might be here all night trying to figure out.
Okay, then which one do you think Santangelo picked?
Oh,
Yeah,
he's a flash guy for sure.
Santangelo did pick one and put it back.
Oh, did he take this one?
No, he did not.
Oh.
No, it's too late now. You touched it.
No, you
No,
made
I'll
your
take
choice.
this one. No, I'm all in on this one. I figured because he's a sneaky flash guy.
You are
Sneaky flash guy.
Well,
Yeah.
I think you're completely wrong, because he picked the one in the middle,
He picked this one.
He
Yes.
had that one picked.
and
And then we told him that
we
half
sold
of
him on the.
half of them have Go Zags,
Oh.
and neither of these 3 do.
Oh.
So he put that back and
He
got
put
to
that
go
felt
back.
Zags.
Gotta go
obligated.
Zags
He
one
felt
day.
really
That makes
obligated.
sense. That makes sense. Well, that's awesome. I will pick one of these. The other thing happens when you get old, you can't see.
Oh, okay.
So as you see me doing this and trying to figure out, it's
understandable.
stuff out there.
Wait,
It's okay.
Oh, you know who left his watch?
Keith Dog.
Keith Dog left his watch.
Oh, if it
I
says
can
Go
return.
Zags on it, I might take it.
It might. I think that one might. Anyway,
I know Keith. We're good. He'll
you
be
can
all right.
take one if you want to buy one. It's 15% off. Use code DIAL, DIAL, VinceroWatches.com/Tom/dial. That's VinceroWatches.com/dial. Thank you so much. The voice of the Zags,
Guys,
Tom Hudson.
it's awesome.
Thank
Great being
you.
out here.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Good to see you, Rob.
Oh, I'm here, baby.
You are here. Jack, better to see you. I don't see you ever.
We're gonna get him. We're gonna make. He'll come up to this vortex soon enough.
I have FaceTime.
Nice. Oh, good. I do too. We'll try that. We'll do that.
Thanks, Tom.